Hello, galactic souls and cosmic travelers to the Voices of Contact. We are the voices of experiencers because we are the experiencers. It is time for disclosure and it's time for truth because truth brings powerful transformation.
Just what's out there in the abyss, in the darkness of the unknown.
We are the voices of change carrying the resonance of evolution on an expansive level. Here, fear dissolves and we step fully into living as bridges between two different realities, human and extraterrestrial, and material and multidimensional. Profound evolution is here. Profound integration is here. This is the Voices of Contact.
It's time for disclosure and it's time for truth because what lies in the darkness brings powerful transformation.
Hi everyone, I'm Mary. I'm a channeler, transpsychic medium, and hypnosis regressionist for ET experiencers with MUFON. I heal timeline distortions from trauma by supporting recall and healing while in expanded states of consciousness. And I do this through my healing work, my regression work, my activations, and my readings.
We're the bridge between two different worlds, with one foot in this reality and one in the next.
Tonight, together with our incredible panel, we're going to journey beyond the stars and dive deep into the mysteries of contact, consciousness, and cosmic truth. Because there is so much more out there than we have yet realized. And until now, we have only scratched the surface. Together, we're going to explore the darkness of the universe and illuminate it with wisdom, compassion, and higher knowledge. Disclosure is here. And so are we.
The shift is here, along with profound integration.
Allow me to introduce our panel of truth bringers and experiencers. We have Deb and RJ Derousse. They're authors, paranormal and UFO researchers, experiencers themselves. They're founders of the Michigan UFO Contact Gathering that happens up at Houghton Lake, Michigan every year at the end of September. And then the visionaries behind Mystical Awakenings Radio, Mystical Awakenings Podcast, and Mystical Awakenings Metaphysical Store. We have Deb Jordan Cobble, Deb too, and she is the central figure in Bud Hopkins' bestseller Intruders. She's the co-author of Abducted, an author of Extraordinary Contact. She's also a former Indiana MUFON investigator and a host of Midwest Paratalk podcasts. We have Dana Stricker, a formed psychic medium with extraordinary remote view gifts and medical intuitive gifts that are known worldwide.
Just who are extraterrestrials and what are their plans?
This incredible panel of experiencers, researchers, and visionaries, anything is possible. And tonight, we will decode the unseen, amplify the truth, and create a field of remembrance and awakening. Through my regression work, I have witnessed extraordinary contact cases, fascinating journeys of souls stepping into remembrance and activation. My clients have agreed to share the regressions here so that all of us, the listeners, the panels, and experiencers alike, walk away with deeper connection, insight, and empowerment. It is truly a win-win because every story expands the collective field of awakening. So, settle in, open your heart, and prepare to journey with us. This is the Voices of Contact, where disclosure lives, truth transforms, and evolution awakens.
It's time to find out with the Voices of Contact.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. How are you guys?
Good.
So we have a special guest tonight, James. James was one of the first people that I met a lot, like when I started my spiritual journey. He always made me feel really uncomfortable because he seemed to like know things about me that I didn't know about myself, but I really did like him. But yeah. So we have a special treat. The regression we're going to be playing is actually mine from the UFO-CON. So it kind of weirded me out when I was going through the clips because today was the first time I've actually listened back. So we'll wait and see. There's some crazy shit in there. And then I channeled a bunch of crazy things too. So I'll try to remember to share some of those things.
You did.
But the first part starts where the lights come into the room, and I remember this clear as day. Because I remember it was in May in 21, and I was just laying in there in bed, and I remember like coming alert to something and wondering if I was actually awake or asleep, and was aware that Denny was next to me and could tell that I was awake. And you could tell when you're getting pulled into something like a vision or something like that. And I could feel that sensation, and I felt myself there and started to pull back. And I heard a male voice say, "It's time to embrace the universe." And then I just felt myself completely let go. And like the ceiling disappeared, and I could see the constellations, and they started dancing. And then all these different colored lights started coming through the walls. And then one had come up through the wall and over the bed and under, and then up again, and then through my solar plexus, and then my whole body just erupted in like pure vibration. And it felt amazing. And there's been a couple of times where I've almost gone into that again, but I pulled out. I don't know why, but yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to explore, to see what actually happened, because I do find it interesting, because I've been thinking a lot about those orbs and those balls of light. I remember again, and this was right around when I met James, one of the first things that got me into researching archangels is I remember coming out for work one morning, and I was coming down because it was an upstairs apartment. So I was coming down the stairs, and I remember looking up at the porch light and thinking it was weird because there was some kind of smoke like swirling around, sort of like if somebody had just stood there and had a cigarette and the smoke was, hovering under the porch. So I didn't think too much of it, thought it was maybe fog because it was before 5 o'clock in the morning. But as I walked down the stairs and I looked to my right, I saw like these 5 colored orbs just sitting there. And I remember just standing there and kind of being in awe. And then Denny asked me, "Are you even coming?" And then being like weirded out. I'm like, "You don't see those?" So I remember getting in the vehicle and then asking, like, was that even real? And then as I looked to my right when I was backing out, there they were again. So I think these are connected in some shape or form. I was maybe just looking in the wrong direction. I don't know. Or just looking in the direction of the vibration I was at the moment would make sense to me. So after that long-winded story, that first clip takes place when we start going through, because Deb did the regression for me. The first part is going through the lights coming through the wall. So give me one moment.
I'm just laying in bed on my back. I can't sleep. And I'm just laying there and I'm looking at the ceiling.
Do you see them come through the wall?
What happens first is I'm laying there, and then slowly the ceiling starts to disappear, and all I can see is the night sky. So at first it confuses me because I feel like I actually must be sleeping instead of being awake. because obviously that's not possible. And I look over to my left and I look at Benny, and he's sleeping. I can feel him breathing, I can feel the blankets, I can feel the bed. And so I know I'm awake. So I look back up at the sky, and now all of a sudden I hear a male voice say, "It's time for you to trust in the universe." And I felt this huge, I can't explain it. It's like,
You're safe.
it's a huge, like, rush of air. Doesn't feel bad, it doesn't feel good. But all of a sudden I can feel myself, I'm still laying in bed, but I feel my energy lift up. And when I connect with the universe, I can see all of the constellations. And they're just dancing. And they're moving and they start to bounce around. And I can feel the energy around me amping up and the frequencies amping up and everything getting bigger. And I see all of these balls of lights with auras around them start coming through the walls and melting through the walls. And I see just different colors of lights coming down through the walls. It's just all over. And I see all of a sudden this one gold light shoot through the wall. And it shoots over the bed. And then down on the floor. And it comes up on my side. And then it flies right in my solar plexus.
You're safe. Take a breath.
And the energy is so intense, my whole body is shaking and vibrating. I can feel myself just lifting off the bed. And I'm not afraid, but I'm not sure what's going on. So I'm talking to my guides and I'm just telling them that this is for my highest and greatest good. We have to make it go away. And it continues on and on. And to be honest, it feels, the frequency is so high, it's blissful. I'm light as a feather, not even touching the bed.
Can you see anybody around you?
All I can see is the lights. They're just orbs. They're not physical. They're not even close to being humanoid, or what you would even consider to be close to being humanoid. They're not your normal frequency.
Do you know where this is?
No. I know I'm connected, but I don't know who they are. I just know there's a connection.
Can we ask them? Can you ask them who they are?
Yeah.
So before we get started, the listeners that weren't at the UFO Contact Convention, you need to understand this was done in front of hundreds of people. This regression.
Well, I've lost some kind of sound going here.
Yeah, I had a hard time kind of hearing it because I'm not wearing headphones.
Yeah, when I put two in, I was good. Yeah. So our audience, when you're listening to this, please turn your volume all the way up, because, like I said, this was done on stage.
I don't know anything about this here.
And
well,
so just remember that the audio is going to be a little different because we never did this before.
Yeah. It was different, but it was a very intense regression. And the emotion behind what you were seeing, what you were feeling was huge.
Mm-hmm.
Being an empath, I don't think you even need to be an empath to feel what you were feeling during that. But personally, being the one sitting there with you, It was
I cannot hear
a lot.
anything.
Oh, you still can't hear anything? Uh-oh.
Try going out and coming back in. Let's see.
Poor James.
It was intense, and I remembered that whole experience completely. I just never really, I never really understood it. I felt like it was some kind of activation. I never felt like it was bad. I just never really fully understood what it was.
Right, right.
There you go.
Can you hear us now, James?
I hear you.
All right, there you go.
Can you hear me now?
Now, Mary,
Where you at?
when you were doing the regression, you were going back to that time. And you said, well, obviously it was impossible for that to happen. Now, do you feel that way now?
No,
Okay.
no, I think just because so many little things happen, and the more you pay attention to them, you notice the bigger they actually are. Yeah, like a little example, right? So I remember, and it was a year ago, being up, at our cabin and coming out early in the morning and getting ready to make coffee. And I had put the water in, and I had put the little cup thingy in, and I was getting ready to push start, and I hadn't yet. And then all of a sudden a commercial came on, and then everything started by itself. So it's like those little things, just like you guys experience, right? It's recognizing that sometimes it's higher up too that's trying to communicate and get your attention with things.
Right.
So James, were you able to hear the regression at all?
Not all of it.
So have you ever experienced those orbs or anything like that?
Every day.
Every day? I was like, I saw his head, and I'm like,
Yeah, so did I.
I'm like, okay, we're done.
I did a
Somebody's
regression.
telling me that crazy.
I did a regression years and years ago, back in the 90s, and which started my career actually. So, and I had figured out something. This regression stuff is to find out exactly who we are. Now, I mean, we've got aliens on this planet everywhere. We see them, but don't even realize it, right? So in this regression, just recently, when I was in Janet's egg, something came through very clear that I was supposed to check out all the black holes in this galaxy, in this whole entire universe. And I've been doing that. So when we're taking a look at regression, it's really our true self. What can we be changing? This is a teaching planet. All these entities come in here to help us, spirit guides. It doesn't make any difference who it is. But our intuition guides us through all that. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Perfect sense.
It does.
So if we're just sitting around going, okay, who am I? Where am I supposed to go? It's always about your perspective. Perspective creates perception, which creates belief, which creates behavior, which creates experience, which creates reality. So what do I have to do? Change my perspective. Yeah. And like magic, other stuff shows up. And when it shows up, it's not about anything out there. It's about my heart space and my soul and who I am, to give assistance to other people on this planet.
So James, it's like when somebody's looking at a picture from a different angle, it's a different perspective, right?
Yeah.
So they see a different reality than what you're looking at. So
exactly.
You're saying change your angle, change your what perspective in life, and you'll create something new, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So if I'm looking at things through a different portal, like I've been really checking out these black holes out here in the whole cosmos, and there's different entities in there that help me just be a better person. I mean, all I have to do really is just live through my heart space and do the right thing. But I don't. Nobody does, because we have all this connection, because we're connected to everything, all of it. The universe, the leaf on your deck, the trees, grass, other people, we're all connected in some way. And these regressions from my past show me that.
Yeah.
My intuition tells me I drop in my heart space and go right to my soul, and it leads me to where I need to go.
Mhm.
It gets real simple after years.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Dana, I'm going to point to my ear. Anyway,
Yeah, I heard that.
I heard.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, we all
I heard it, yeah. I'm not sure what it was. We'll have to listen back to it.
I was going to mark it down today, so.
Okay.
Sounded a bit robotic. Mhm.
Anyway, that's a good way to look at things. I mean, that's the way to. We try to stay in perspective, or we try to do that.
I
Like
don't
you said,
understand this word "try."
well, we just we try to
Right.
because we know that's where it's at.
Be like Yoda.
But like we get distracted and life goes, normal everyday life. But yeah, the goal is to really look at it at that angle.
And how are you looking at it? I mean, that's the thing. It's not what you think. It's
Right.
how you think of it. It's not what you're saying. It's how you're saying it.
Right.
Because this thing right here, this voice box, are frequencies and vibrations, and they're everywhere. That's what we're connected to.
Right.
So where do you want to move into it? How far down the rabbit hole do you want to go? Just like about
That's why I like you, Deb.
I love rabbit holes. Let's go.
Yeah, grab me a shovel, baby, because here I go.
Right,
For
right.
over 3 decades, so I'm not going to stop. Why would I? This is
Just a
great.
warning. You're going to find a little place to go right and a little place to go left, and you have to make that choice, that perspective.
Yep, and that's my choice, right?
Right. Right.
But with my intuition and spirit guides and whoever's out there guiding me in through this whole life experience here on planet Earth, I make the right decision, which is the next right thing.
Right.
So let me see if I've got this right. I think what you're saying, James, is when Mary was seeing the lights and all of this was happening with her, it was because she herself was ready. She was awakening to a new level.
Yeah. This whole planet is waking up.
Right.
Well, we're working on it. Aren't we?
Well, because it's time, and we do the things we need to do to help enlighten people, which I've been doing a long time.
Yeah.
But it's not about me. It's about my client, period. I get emotionally detached so I can service somebody else. And that's what we're doing here. We're learning all these things that, everybody else outside of this planet knows. This is a teaching planet.
Right. Yeah, we're a little behind, but we're getting there close. We're getting real close.
Okay, well,
I'm trying to think, we're trying to get there anyway.
any question? Come on, bring it on.
All right, so, but Mary, this happened in 21, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from 21 till now, you've had big upload.
Yep. 21, that was right before I started doing regression work. That was the summer where I started becoming interested in it. I didn't connect the two. I just thought it was a different experience. But
What was this light that came down? You said it hit the floor, it came back and hit you in the solar
well, it
plexus.
was a ball of light that came in through the wall and it shot over the bed and came under, and then when it came up, it shot through into my solar plexus, and that's when my whole body erupted in that vibration.
Okay.
And then I could see just colors coming down the wall, just all different colors, light rays. So
Right. So do you feel that was, I mean, you were intended, of course, I believe, to feel the vibrations?
I believe so. Yeah.
And do you feel that was the intent, is to raise your vibrations and make you aware?
That was my understanding from all of it in general, was just to amp up the vibration.
Nice.
All right. So for this next one, and Deb was the one, James, that did my regression. She did a fabulous job. She's very, very, very soothing at regression. I was like, oh, my mom's talking to me to sleep. I'm like, I'm just gonna curl up and just snuggle. But she did a fabulous job. And this next one, you asked at what age I had started having contact at. So give me 1 second.
How old was Mary the first time you contacted her?
I'm not sure what you mean. We created her, so we've always had contact with her. So very, very beginning of Source, when she came from Source, that's how, when we contacted her, we're always in contact. She just goes in and out of life to do her work.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, isn't that true for everything, really? If you come from the source, from the beginning, you've always been in contact. Just didn't realize it all the time. We have these moments, and
I remember, and this is somebody that James and I know mutually. I didn't know it at the time, but she had given me a past life reading. And in that reading, she had told me that I had been here since the very beginning of time, like placed here, not born here, but I came here from the very, very beginning. So that always struck with me. And also that my name now is the same name I've had in many past lives, it's all ringing out to be true. So it's something that I've always held on to. One of those things that, stand out in your journey. So.
Right.
So when you say always, you're always here on this planet, or were you other places?
Well, see, what I deciphered the most, and this is the one part I did remember of the regression, only because I'd already come to that conclusion through channeling and research and, just finding my own truth. But I already knew that I was from Orion. I already knew that. And I'd already gathered that I was a priestess or a princess of some sort who was very, very rebellious. And she was isolated away from everybody else. And at some point, it was trying to gather people and escape, and I failed. I remember that. part. So from the research of looking up names that I've channeled and trying to find them, there is a priestess called Tiamat. This is more like they gave her a name type thing, but that actually came to Syria and then came to Earth to be one of the seeders. That their specific purpose was to seed the planet from their species. And a bunch of them did that.
So there's a story about Tiamat, and I can't remember. She had a marriage with somebody to try to make peace. And I think their offspring might have been what we call the Anunnaki. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of stories out there. But so, are you familiar with that, James? That little story about Tiamat had a marriage arranged through, I think, the Lemurians or someone, and that they were trying to make peace, and their offspring might have been the the Anunnaki got her. Yeah.
No, I'm not familiar with that. Sorry.
So, and Tiamat, that planet that blew up between Jupiter and Earth and Mars, I think it was named after her. It's a female, right, Mary?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and of course, it got destroyed in a war. But so anyway, yeah, that story about Tiamat, people need to really research and check that out.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it. I know I've heard little bits and pieces, but that's all. Dana, Deb, either of you know anything?
Not about that. I don't know.
No.
I'm just listening intently.
Yeah.
Well, it might have been like between reptilians and Lemurians, and trying to make peace and, their offspring. Because, a lot of the ancient people talk about the shiny ones, they had shiny skin, and it was kind of the reptilian. But we are told that we have a little reptilian brain in us, in the lower brain, and we have an upper brain. So, it's just a story you can check out.
What was that, Dana?
Some people more than others, maybe. I know a lot of snakes.
That's true. That's true.
The RV, the remote viewing people that I used to hang around with, call them monkey brains. I guess it must be the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be.
We have one brain on top of the other.
Monkey brain.
But I can say, in knowing Mary, it all definitely makes sense because you have this deep burning passion to make things better, to bring peace, to bring resolve to the world. So I can see where that's always been a part of you.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was always a rebel. It kind of got squashed in my
Rebel too. Yes.
my little bit of my teenage years, but I was pretty bad when I was a kid.
Well, I do see that little bit of rebel in there, but that's what makes you you, and I love it.
Yeah, it depends on the day. Okay, so for this next one, Deb asked if I was being prepped, if it was how long I've been prepped, or if I've been prepped for my mission. So give me one moment.
Lifetime of Mary's. Has she been being prepped since birth to work the mission that she is now working?
Yes, ever since birth. That's why she's always been weird and out of sorts and never quite fit in and never really felt like she belonged to her family. She's multidimensional and she's worked really hard because when you're multidimensional, you don't feel as much. You kind of don't understand why people are feeling those emotions, and you don't get why they just can't get over it. And so she has worked very, very hard at opening up so that she can understand emotions. And now that she has reached that point, we are there. And she is ready because she can feel everything. It feels off for her because she feels like she's very jittery, but she enjoys being able to feel and love because as a person, that's all she ever really wanted to do was love people and just love. It's beautiful. Thank you.
I must have with my head. I heard everybody giggling at the very end. I'm like, man, they must have been making fun of me.
No, they weren't at all. I mean, it's obviously you weren't talking; someone else was. So,
yeah, and I think people were kind of relating with you.
Yeah.
Honestly. So I think some of the giggling was, hey, I get that.
It did sound kind of funny, though.
I remember that. I had to take a double take up there, like, wow, that's not Mary. That's someone else coming through. Or your higher self or whatever. But, yeah. I mean, you were going, man. You were just, choo.
Yeah.
It's still a little weird.
Now you see how we feel when you regress us?
I know, that's why I did it.
Okay.
It's got to be a give and take, right? A little bit of both.
But I think it's really good that you did this, because in you being brave enough to look at your true self, you're showing others that it's okay to examine their consciousness and their soul and see who they really truly are. Because, it's not only helpful, but we learn from it, and we know how to progress from here a lot better than if we don't look at who we truly are.
Very true. Yeah.
Ignorance isn't always bliss. So I say big kudos to you for doing that,
Thank you.
especially in front of an audience.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a good audience.
I
We
was
can't
happy
even
with
get
that.
Dana to do it.
Hell no. You're all good.
Everybody's so quiet.
I know.
Well, I'm trying to. I'm listening from what I can hear, and then I'm also kind of reverting back to. I was in the room when you guys did this, but I was at the back at the book table, and I had a hard time hearing then too. But I noticed then when I was there too that your voice changed, and I figured that you were channeling, because I don't know whether I do it or not. If I do it, I'm not aware of it consciously, but I've heard other people do it, and it always seems like their voice always changes. So
Yeah, that's a newer thing for me. So I'm still working on trying to process. I have gotten some answers, so I think I know what I'm channeling, but not quite sure completely what to do and where to go with it yet. So
is it entities, or is it your higher self?
well,
in another dimension.
Good question.
so when I channeled earlier, at the risk of sounding batshit crazy, because that's kind of actually what I asked. And what they were showing me, they showed me a triangle, because I've always worked with Metatron, and I know that. I wouldn't say like I ever use it as like calling a deity type thing. It's just if I needed something done or I wanted some protection, I would say, hey, this is what I need, and it would happen every time. I didn't do it all the time, but like if I needed protection, I would carry a selenite with me, and I would know when it worked because it would break in half. I still carry it with me. So I started channeling that earlier, and they showed me a triangle, because I've been doing a lot of research, because I do remember saying I'm a Sophia Mary. And when I started doing research on the Sophia Mary, that's where I found Tiamat's name. So all of this is connected in some shape or form. I think it's connected with the reason why I'm called Mama Mary, and I was given that nickname, even though I tried to get rid of it several times. It kind of stuck whether I wanted it or not. It was just mine. So when I started channeling it, they're showing me 3. So it's like me finally reaching that point of merging the divine male and feminine. It's almost like the 3 of me is Mary in 3D, the person that was born here, Mary Magdalene, and then the oversoul of Metatron. So it's sort of like all of these merging is divine male and feminine. And because, again, at the risk of sounding crazy, everything I've been doing, I keep on hearing a male voice telling me to do it. So I feel like this is all connected with like Mother Mary and Jesus, because when I would do my healing, regardless of where I was vibrationally in my spiritual beliefs, I always have called to them for healing. So this is it's all connected for me in that sense with the channeling and Metatron. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it, because I asked him if this means I integrated with my oversoul, and he told me no, that I merged, that there's a difference. Integration is pulling pieces of your soul back to you, and merging is connecting with the other divine energy to find that balance. So I still haven't quite figured it out, but that's what I channeled today. So I don't know. That's the next stage of what I'm going to channel next to figure out what I'm supposed to do with it.
Because when James was talking earlier, I a lot of what he said resonated with me on a level. As you know, I come from a whole different wheelhouse than you guys. And when we all came together, I mean, I was an experiencer of non-human intelligence, you know, and I had the nuts and bolts experience in the 80s that affected me physically. And then I had this mental transformation through these other experiences. And then the experience changed. You went from physical to metaphysical in some kind of way that I didn't quite understand at the time when I was 30 years old, you know. But I've had all these little epiphanies along the way, and they didn't have the term download when I was talking about this stuff 40 years ago. But I mean, if I think about the things I've experienced now, I guess it's kind of sounds like it, you know, the description fits. I don't know what it, you know, exactly what to call it, but I feel like, and yeah, I'm not really, I don't know that much I don't know nearly as much about the metaphysical stuff as you guys do. I mean, I'm learning from you guys every day and every time I do one of these things, but I'm with James talked about that connection, that all linked together thing, and that intent. Like I've come to the feeling that intention is a part of creation. I mean, an intention, like your intentions can create things. If you focus on one thing, but you have a different intention than the guy that's focused on it with you, then you're going to create something different's going to happen because of your intention. And also, I feel like you can what you do in the past can affect the future, and what you do in the future can affect the past. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Cloud Atlas. And it was the only movie I've ever seen that I understood completely the first time I watched it, and I cried through it because I couldn't believe that anybody else understood this the way I did. Right. But so when I ask you, are you connected with your higher self? It's because I feel like even though I had these entities that were separate, you know, I even had that voice tell me one time that the gray guys were my future. Remember, you know? And that the other guy was the guy talking to me was as alive as me, but in a different, you know, realm or dimension or whatever. So maybe that's why I see things more egg-headed like that than, I don't know. You guys you're more plugged into the heart part of it. I'm more just like watching things happen. That's why I wonder if you're, you know, what you think is an extraterrestrial or non-human intelligence is maybe just another fragment of you that's somewhere else that's been doing things. Because sometimes I wonder that about myself, you know, that there's other fragments of me somewhere. Oh shit, I just got so dizzy when I said that. Does that mean anything? I mean, literally, it's either the pain medicine or I just hit a bone somewhere. Anyway, so that's why I asked you that question, because in the mouthy long way around, because I'm sorry I do that, but
well, it makes perfect sense what you're saying. Really, it does. Yeah. That goes back to your perspectives. You know where you're looking at it from. And,
intention, and perspective.
Yeah. So, and I can personally see that perspective. In what you're talking about, and I'm sure a lot of people see the same perspective, and that's perfectly okay. I mean, it's great.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're all aliens.
Right.
I mean, really, I think we are.
Right. Now, Metatron, for our audience, you know, I'm not an expert on Metatron, but you know, very highly advanced being. And was Metatron in the Bible, Mary?
No,
No.
don't ask me that question because I can't answer that one.
Well,
Yeah, I've never heard of the word Metatron. I've never
Well, I
heard of
remember
that.
reading about Metatron in the Keys of Enoch
Mhm.
by the
Yeah, I know there's a link with Enoch.
Yeah.
I believe it's in Metatron is in the Gnostic Bible.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I encourage our audience to check it out because definitely Metatron has a connection with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And channeling too. So it's good to check out.
What
Very
did you
powerful.
get out of it?
What did I get out of that session?
Yeah.
Well, mostly just kind of like an understanding, like, the channeling of the Mary Magdalene, the understanding that in some shape or form I'm channeling that energy. And it makes sense because I was the person that everybody called a whore and hated and ostracized, and I kept on speaking my truth, and just it was bad. But it so represents me as a person and the life that I went through to get where I am. I have fought hard to get where I'm at, spiritually, emotionally, 3D wise. So, and after I read, I think I was laying in bed actually, and this is what led me to all of this. And I was thinking about it, and I heard the male voice say, "Find the Book of Mary." And I was like, okay. So I looked up the Book of Mary, and I found Mary Magdalene. So I ordered it, and then the moment I started reading it, like it just hit home. It just hit home, that idea of like when we were talking about Tiamat being that planet being broken up. I recognize the fact that I represent Tiamat. We as the divine feminine represent Tiamat, that was a real battle. And when that happened, all the pieces of our soul got fragmented. And the whole point of the ascension is to reach out and start drawing it all back in and integrate. When we integrate, we'll realize that we actually aren't supposed to be the 10D like they've given us, like the tree of life, that Kabbalah, that's fake. It's supposed to be 12. And the whole point is to bring all that energy back in and integrate it so that we can remember and see the true spiritual teachings in the vibrations, because they've lowered the vibrations to keep us at a certain frequency. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Don't be sorry.
Very
No,
sorry.
This is so important.
Yeah, it's so important.
So
You know,
I don't even remember what I was saying. I don't
Were
even know
you
what we were
scared?
talking about. So, all
Were you
right.
scared?
Huh?
Were you scared?
No, I wasn't. I enjoy it.
So what happened is you just walk through fear. How'd that feel?
I don't know. It felt good, I guess.
Well,
I don't know. Everything, I'm excited about everything. And I think that's why I apologize, because I've never been a chatty Cathy, and now I never shut up. Ever.
So, I mean, what is fear? False evidence appearing real.
Mm-hmm.
We can switch it anytime we want through our intention, because intention is everything. It's all of it. It's all vibrations. It's all frequencies. It's everywhere. It's connected to everything. So when we walk through this little thing called fear, what happens? We raise our vibration.
Yeah.
Just like that.
And
And we
boy,
keep-
did she.
And most people on this planet are looking for their purpose. Well, okay, so how do we do that? We keep it examining self-love, everything with my voice box, with frequencies and vibrations of who I am in my bubble. That's truth to me. It might not be for somebody else, and that's okay, because life's about choice, right?
right.
So when we take a look at all this stuff, and I've been into this for a long, long time, and I'm scared to do stuff, but when I walk through it, somewhere along the line, it bumps me up. And it will you too. But if you place the intent along with your agenda, there's nothing to stop you. You can create anything. Law of attraction comes in. It all comes in, because that's who we are.
And I think when you walk through that door of fear, the unknown becomes the known.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing I've been not researching. I don't want to research somebody else's crap. I want to search. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. If I'm searching, well, and now I'm here. Since birth until this moment right here, I live in the moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you guys know that's how I roll. I go where the universe sends me. I follow my instincts because it tells me, it sends me where I need to be.
You are right on.
Whether that's how I do my shit.
Yeah.
You'll have to,
Okay, Mary said it too.
Yeah, that's how I roll. You know, because I feel like if I said one thing, somebody needed to hear that somewhere, and it helped them on their way. And that's what I'm here for. And so I listen, and with more than just my ears, I listen with my heart and my spirit and my soul, and I follow. But you know, people ask me to go speak places. 95% of the time I say no thank you, but every once in a while the universe says you need to do this. Go, even if you're not comfortable. You know what I mean?
I get it, because here I am on this show. I have no idea what you people are talking about. Well, yeah.
You know, well, that's me. A lot of times I have no idea what these guys are talking about. And sometimes I think, why do they like me? Because but you know what? I've learned a lot from them, and that's probably part of the whole thing. You know, I've learned a lot, and I hope I taught you guys a couple things.
Oh yeah, we've learned a lot as well. But the beauty is, Deb, is that balance. You know, you say, "Oh, I don't understand all the metaphysical stuff. I'm more nuts and bolts."
But you do.
But you do know it. You know, it is part of you.
It's just different words, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's funny when
I mean, here's a phrase. We know everything there is to know about everything. We just haven't recognized it yet.
I say that all the time. I just haven't plugged into that part yet, but it's out there, and I have the ability to get it. I just have to shut my brain up long enough. I use sound a lot, and I think it's awesome that you're into sound and vibration, because you guys, what have you heard out of my mouth for the last year about sound and vibration, how I've got to have music in certain tones, because that helps me find my way through this mire of weirdness.
It's funny you said that, because when you said the S word, I saw you with a little white sailor hat on.
Do you see my parrot on my shoulder?
Or you know, a Navy hat. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I do.
No, I like it. That's you, you know.
I'm spicy.
I like it. Personally, yeah.
Anyways, I think what you did was really awesome, Mary. I mean, you guys asked you asked me if I would.
You tried,
and I said no.
Every angle.
Nope. No. Sorry. So I can't say anything about Dana because I said nope.
We tried conning you guys into it, but
no. I didn't want to scare all these people off. God knows what would come out of this thing.
Bring it on. I ain't scared.
So we have one more clip?
Yeah, let me play the last clip. We have about 5 minutes left. Let me play the last clip real quick, okay?
Okay.
And this one is, we asked the question of what the balls were.
Council, when she sees the balls of light coming through the walls, the different colors, the sky, is that you connecting with her?
That is all of us. It goes deeper than just us. Mary goes way, way back. It's why very often she's always kind of kept to herself, because she hasn't felt, it's more than just not feeling like she belongs here. She knows she doesn't belong from the other here. She's very ancient, and she goes way back in time. She's ancient Elohim. She's a cedar. She's a sulfurian.
Since she was a cedar?
Mm-hmm. Not like the wood, RJ. Not like the wood.
Not like you would.
Like a Johnny
Peter in
Appleseed.
my
Like,
trunk.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't.
Peter?
All right, yeah, I realize that. No, I wasn't saying that, but
I'm just messing with you.
I kid around too much. I deserve that. So
Well, how do you get your point across? Humor.
right.
It's
I
true.
mean, that's just part of the makeup
Yes.
of who you are, who we are
Right.
as a species here on this thing called Earth.
Yeah.
Right? So it's either we can use our egos for our advantage or we can use our ego for somebody else's advantage. And that's the key. When I can drop down in my heart space and just be emotionless to serve somebody else. I said that before. So how far do I want to go with it? And we're right back to the rabbit hole.
and they always told me that when you lift one, you lift everybody. So if you helped one person, you've helped yourself too in some way. That and that the fear, when you the last clip, fear, they always told me fear slowed down the process and that really there was nothing to be afraid of. That's my whole gig. That's my whole gig now, just telling everybody don't be scared.
Because it's just a lesson, just another experience here on this wonderful planet called Earth.
Yeah.
So how am I going to use that to assist other people?
Right.
I mean, that's where I'm at. That's what I do. That's all I want to do.
That's all I want to do. And I know that's all Mary wants to do. It's hard though. I'm human and I find myself, this world and life pulls me in a million directions and pulls at my heartstrings, and it's hard.
I'm here now.
Because
Jesus Christ.
I'm just a human being at the end of the day.
Oh,
And
look.
I'm susceptible, but I guess everybody has a goal. That's mine.
Well, we always talk about this. We fear what we don't know. And because if we don't know it, we don't know what's around the corner. And that's why we fear it unless we walk there. So,
And that's why it's so important to learn and continue to move forward.
Okay, so with that statement, take what you just said. We don't know the unknown. I strive for the unknown.
right.
Why?
That's the lesson, right?
How it shows up, it's here. It's my choice to figure out what to do with it, or if it help me my best and highest good.
And if we don't go around that corner,
And it's just like, it could be right. I mean, you might find a dime. I don't know.
It's like, playing the lottery. You can't win if you don't play.
right? And if you don't go around that corner, you just sit in your little fear corner all your life. You'll not experience anything.
And we see all the time. All the time we see.
Yeah. And the soul can't evolve.
Exactly. So when we get in our heart space and we drop into our soul, which it's all that is. So where do we want to go? Well, what's my intent? And we just keep asking ourselves these questions, and the answer is going to show up every single time. Every single time.
All right, well, that's all we have for tonight, you guys. So
Thank you
we will
all.
see you next
Thank you,
I will
James.
see you next week.
We'll be doing the rest of the regression. So we'll see you next week.
Bye, Dana.
Bye.
Bye, Deb.